Good morning, and welcome to the official Lexington Market ribbon cutting today. My name is Colin Tarbert, and I am here in two capacities. I am proud to serve as the board chair of Lexington Market as well as the Baltimore Public Markets Corporation, and I'm also the president and CEO of the Baltimore Development Corporation, the city's economic development agency. This is an incredible and momentous day. There are so many people here to recognize. If we apologize in advance if we miss anybody, because it's going to be probably impossible. But we're so glad to have you. Welcome to the new Lexington Market. I'm going to just give a little bit of logistics before we start the formal remarks. Mayor Scott is here. He's on a tight time frame. So I'm going to give a few remarks, introduce the mayor. We're then going to do the ribbon cutting. After the ribbon cutting, we're going to continue the speaking program with Governor Moore and others. So please don't leave after the ribbon cutting. Stay. There will be additional remarks. And then we're going to end, and I'll give more details, outside on the plaza with the ringing of the bell. So to begin my remarks, this project has been a long time coming. I got involved in this project back in 2011. So we've had 3 governors, 4 mayors, a global pandemic that no one has seen in 100 years. So that's another reason why we're going to cut the ribbon sooner before anything else happens. We're so proud of this project, but we are glad this day is here as well. I do want to give a couple thank yous on behalf of the board before I introduce the mayor. First, I want to recognize all of the board members who are here. If you could maybe just raise your hand. We've got so many board members here. Give them a round of applause. And I do want to acknowledge the immediate past chair, Kirby Fowler. I also want to acknowledge our past executive director. I'm not sure, I haven't seen Robert Thomas here, but Robert worked for the market for, I think, 17 plus years. I also want to acknowledge Paul Rupert, our current president and CEO. I wanted to acknowledge Benice Thayer, who is also here, and Arnold Williams, our longtime board member who just stepped down at the end of the year. I also want to acknowledge the BDC team that worked on this project, helping vendors. And finally, there's a number of elected officials who are here. There's a number of elected officials who couldn't make it today. So I just wanted to give some acknowledgement. As I said, this has been over numerous elected officials' time frame, a commitment from Mayor Rawlings Blake to Mayor Jack Young to Mayor Pugh and Senator Hayes, who has been a champion of this project as well, who unfortunately I believe is in Annapolis today and couldn't be here. So I wanted to acknowledge them, and you'll hear from more. So without further ado, the mayor likes it when I read his entire biography. He hates it when people read his entire biography. So I'm going to leave you with 2 bullets before I introduce the mayor that you need to know, and you probably know. 1, he's a proud Mervo grad, and 2, he's our biggest champion of Baltimore City, Mayor Brandon Scott.
Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning, Lexington Market. Hold up. This Lexington Market, this is 3 wings and fries, salt, pepper, ketchup. We're going to do that again. Good morning, Lexington Market. That's more like it. Thank you, everyone, for being here today for this incredible ribbon cutting. Please make sure, Colin gave me directions to say, this is Colin, not me. Please make sure to hit outside after the program. You might get a little wet for the traditional market opening with the bell ringing by my friend and fellow Baltimorean, and more importantly, fellow St. Mary's College alum, Jason Williams and his family. Today is a great day in Baltimore when we can come together and celebrate the completion of another transformative project that will benefit the lives of so many residents and visitors to Charm City. We stand here today as the 9th generation of Baltimoreans that get to come together and make memories in the oldest and the most diverse continually operating market in these United States of America. Lexington Market is and always be a Baltimore landmark and a cherished part of our city's history and culture. Like club music, like Old Bay, like hard-hitting defense, and like never taking off a day in baseball. But before I begin, I want to recognize my fellow elected officials here today. We have our fabulous Governor Wes Moore with us today. This is 2 days in a row for the governor and I. Yesterday we had the ride of a lifetime in the president's motorcade. We got to see how we can top that today, Mr. Governor. We got $4 billion yesterday. You got 5 for us today? Our fabulous Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller. Our state's attorney, Ivan Bates. Our council president, Nick Mosby. Comptroller Bill Henry. Delegate Marlon Ampery. The hardest working council person in Baltimore, Councilman Eric Costello. And because they're doing what they always do, fighting for us in D.C., our fabulous congressional delegation, the best congressional delegation the mayor could ask for, could not be here today, but they are well represented today. For Senator Cardin, Renee Cohen. For Senator Van Hollen and Lana Jones. For Congressman Mfume, Anthony Jones. We also have our Housing Commissioner, Alice Kennedy. Our new State Secretary of the Department of Housing and Community Development and Mayor for Life, Jake Day. And our new DGS Secretary Chaudhry is here as well. Thank you all for being here and for your steadfast commitment to this process and joining us for this great occasion in moving Baltimore forward. I want to start by expressing my sincere gratitude to the exceptional people and organizations who help bring this vision to life. All of my predecessors, I'm surprised that none of them are here today. I thought they all would be here today. They're busy. That's actually a shock. I thought I was going to have to make sure I didn't miss any of them. All of them, Mayor Rawlins Blake, Mayor Pugh, Mayor Young, they laid the groundwork for how we can get this project forward. We owe them a debt of gratitude and a round of applause. Seawalt Development, Tebow Mannequin and John Constable, Southway Builders, I saw Willie in the background, BCT Design Group, members of the Transform and Lexington Advisory Board, Paul Rupert, president of the Baltimore Public Markets Corporation, the entire Markets Corporation Board, especially Colin Tarbert, who's been president for nearly the last 8 years. Colin, thank you for all your blood, sweat, and tears, late night calls to us about how we're going to pay for it, all the work that you did to make this project come to light. The entire team at BDC, the Market Center Coalition, Downtown Partnership, and the Bromo Arts Entertainment District. Visit Baltimore. I saw Al today. Baltimore Heritage, the University of Maryland, Baltimore, the BMA, the hardworking folks at BPD and all the other city agents, and everybody else, Lottie-Dottie and anybody who worked on making the new Lexington Market happen. This has been a long time coming. And while many of us will miss the old building and the memories we made there, Lexington Market 2.0 will build upon what made the old market so special, an unparalleled sense of Baltimore community. The true heart of Lexington Market are our vendors who call it home, and we are here today to celebrate them and thank them for continuing to not only be a part of Lexington Market, but betting on Baltimore and being a part of our renaissance. They are the cornerstone of this market, providing fresh food, local goods, services, and bringing out the best of Charm City. Today's Lexington Market not only looks even better, have you all seen the public art that we have here? But it's also a more diverse and a reflection of our city that we all can be proud of, with over 50% of the businesses being Black-owned and 50% of them being women-owned, something that we be very proud of in Baltimore. This was something that we made a priority throughout the process. Thank you, Baltimore Core and the review team, and to the Innovation Works and Baltimore Community Lending, who will continue to foster these small business owners. In fact, during the pandemic, Tebow and I did an Instagram Live to get more people to apply to be vendors. We officially opened with more than 20 vendor stalls and the capacity for over 20 more, along with the kiosks. That's more than 50 individual small businesses growing here. Hundreds of jobs, endless opportunities for wealth creation for generations to come here in Baltimore. From icons like Fagely's, I see Miss Nancy in the background, to public market mainstays and legacy vendors like Connie's Chicken and Waffle. I saw Miss Connie, Sean, and Carrie and the team, to a food truck, now first ever storefront like Dito's Donuts. Shout out to Robin. I can't wait to sample each and every one of them that has a pescatarian option for the mayor. We all know too well that the effects of the global pandemic and inflation can be felt everywhere, in every aspect of life. Did anyone imagine back in 2018, when we began having these hashing out conversations about this vision, that we would have to go through the entire construction process in the middle of a generational pandemic? I am proud that we were able to bring this collective $45 million investment to the finish line, the only way that you can do that together. Baltimore, your renaissance is happening right now, before your eyes and beneath our feet. This is what progress for everyone together looks like. This is what equitable investment and development looks like. This is what driving economic growth downtown looks like, and we will continue to build on this progress, because we all know while we made tremendous strides to get to this point, we have much more work to do, and we've gone too far to even dream about turning back now. I look forward to riding this momentum less than 1.5 miles northwest of here in Upton with the full renovation of the Avenue Market. Continuing our commitment to our neighborhoods and to equity by working to expand and sustain food security across our city. Thank you all again for your passion, commitment, and dedication to our residents and doing the impactful work that will change the trajectory of Baltimore for the better. I hope you all feel just as home here as I do, and make sure, if you aren't on now, hop on the Baltimore bandwagon. There aren't going to be any more seats left very soon. And now, without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to a man who is so committed to Baltimore that he's still here more than he is in Annapolis, that he always knows that Baltimore and says that our state will only go as far as our city becomes the best version of itself. Our fabulous governor, my friend, my partner, Wes Moore. Hold up. Actually, I'm wrong, Colin, right? Actually, we're going to do the ribbon cutting first. Sorry. I went on the original script, not the new one. Ribbon cutting. So, Mr. Governor, we're going to go down there. All right, everybody. We're going to do the fake it till you make it, then we'll count down.
4, 3, 2, 1. That's appropriate. Yeah, I was like, that's how hard it was. Oh, wow. That's a little, be careful here. Roll it down the steps.
All right, now I got to do this again. So let me officially introduce to some and reintroduce to many the Governor of Maryland, Wes Moore.
What's going on, Baltimore? It's good to be home. It's good to be home. I am so excited to be back. I'm so excited to see so many friends and family. And first, Mr. Mayor, congratulations, sir. Congratulations and thank you for your leadership in being able to see this thing through. These things do not happen, let's be clear, these things do not happen by accident. They don't happen just because. They happen because we have people who push. They happen because people who have vision. They happen because people who understand partnership. And what we are seeing right here today, this is a celebration of leadership and it is a celebration of partnership. How we saw people from city government leadership, from the city delegation to secretaries, and I'm so thankful for the fact that I'm here with my partner in this work, our remarkable Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller. Yes. Everyone saying, we love you, Aruna, and I know she loves y'all back. I'm so thankful for the fact that I'm here and joined by our two remarkable secretaries, Secretary of DGS, Secretary Chaudhry. It's great to see you out here, and bless you and thank you. And our Housing and Community Development Secretary, as Mayor Scott says, our Mayor for Life, Secretary Jake Day. It is great to see you out here. But this is beautiful because this is a celebration of community. This is a celebration of us. I love coming back out here today because when people say we're heading out to Lexington Market for the ribbon cutting, and usually on the briefings they have directions on how we're going to get there. I was like, I don't need directions on how to get to Lex. I don't need directions. When there's a briefing about, in your briefing book, they give you information about what's going on and why that location is important. I don't need a briefing on how important Lexington Market is to our community. Because the beauty of Lex, the beauty of what we're seeing right here, the celebration of this is that it's not just a place where people come and fill their stomachs, right? And there's some great places people fill their stomachs here, whether you're talking about Dosey Rock or Fadley's, etc. And it's not just a celebration of places where people can feed their minds. And I just want to give a shout out to Tia and our folks from Urban Reads over here. Hey, Tia, we're giving you a shout out right now. She over there doing interviews. So it's not just a place where people can feed their stomachs and to feed their minds. It's a place where we feed our souls. Because this is community. This is what it means to have a gathering spot where people can learn and engage and celebrate. And that's what this is. This is a celebration of a community that loves for each other, that cares for each other, a community that will ride for each other. And this thing, when you look at all the hands that went into this, the vision that went into this, I'd also be remiss if I didn't give a special shout out to all the folks from Seawall and the folks who put in this work to make this thing happen. I can tell you right now for a fact. So Tebow's been my guy for a while. And when I say that this man has obsessed on this project and its importance, I mean he's obsessed over this. He's obsessed over because he knows just what it means. And this brother right here, man, you have one of the biggest hearts I know for our city. And you devoted your life to making us better. And I just want to say thank you and congratulations for watching a dream of fruition come to pass. And I'm excited because when we say partnership, I can tell you right now, when I say the state is not only has been, but is going to be a real partner about this, I mean that. And I know a guy who can make sure that happens. Because we know that in order for this thing to continue to sustain, it's not just about how do we make sure that the state is a partner, but the state also helps to take a measurement of pride in this. I'm proud for the fact because everywhere we go around the state, I tell people that, when I say that you cannot have a thriving Maryland if you do not have a thriving Baltimore, people say, of course you'd say that, you're a Baltimorean. I say, no, I don't say that just because I'm a Baltimorean. I say that because I'm good at math. This is the state's largest city. This is The state's largest city is its heartbeat. In order to make sure that our state does what our state needs to do over the next decade, it means that Baltimore is going to do what Baltimore needs to do over this next decade, and that happens in partnership. And I can tell you right now from this administration, you have a partner in this work. And so if you look at this project, the state has provided $10 million towards this project thus far in a $45 million project. But I want to tell you right now, we're not done. And it's not just about the financial support. That the project that we're standing here, that has been done in partnership with our delegation. And I give a special shout out to the legislators who are here as well from the Baltimore delegation. Delegate Amber, it's good to see you, brother. Because if you look at the work that they have been able to do in partnership, this project has received over $7 million in capital grants through bond bills. That's leadership from the Assembly. When we look at the fact that we now are looking at the spark, part of the engine, part of the financial engine, is that this administration, our administration, that we're pledging to fund another $3 million to the capital grant program, which is administered through the Department of DGS, and we have its secretary here to make sure that that is going to happen as well. That we know the support and the build around all this also happens from its entrepreneurs and its owners who are all around here. Which, by the way, and Mayor Scott made a very important point, the entrepreneurs that we see here, this represents Baltimore. When you're looking at the amount of MBEs and the WBEs and the black-owned businesses and kiosks around here, this is Baltimore. This is economic growth and development. This is about how can you grow an economy, but also making sure that we're both growing and also being more competitive and doing things like closing the wealth gap. That's what this symbolizes. And so it's the reason that we are, as an administration, committed to being able to support things like the State Small Business Credit Initiative, to make sure that they can get the capital and the supports that they need to grow and thrive. And in fact, the proposed budget that we have laid out, we've included funding for programs that will continue to revitalize Baltimore. Programs like the Baltimore Regional Neighborhood Initiative, and programs like putting $20 million into Project Core, which is helping to address the vacant homes and the vacants inside of our neighborhoods and communities. When we said that we are going to make sure that Baltimore is seen and lifted, I want to be very, very clear. If I said it, I meant it. And this initiative, this proud day, is not just a celebration of the work that's already been done, but it's a celebration of work that's still yet to happen. This is our time, everybody. This is Maryland's decade, and Baltimore is going to help to lead the way. Congratulations, bless you. We are so excited and so grateful. Congratulations, and let's keep getting to work. Bless you, brother.
Thank you, Governor Moore. We know we have a partner in Governor Moore, and we're so proud that he could be here today. As you've heard, it takes levels of all government, it takes levels of all partnership. And I am pleased and proud to introduce our next speaker, who is our City Councilman for the 11th District, Councilman Eric Costello.
Good morning, Baltimore. Come on, you all can do better than that. Good morning, Baltimore! Excellent. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with everyone today. A project like this, a $45 million project with multiple sources of funding, which is a true public-private partnership, does not happen without everyone working together. We hear Governor Moore say that very often. In this case, could not be truer when we talk about Lexington Market. When we talk about the community outreach that Seawall Development has done, Tebow's incredible team with Katie, John, Pickett, and the entire team, working hand in hand with the Market Center Merchants Association, the Seton Hill Association, Post 114, Downtown Partnership of Baltimore. And I cannot tell you how thrilled I am. They have been an incredible community partner and made supporting their work easier and easier every single day. There's a couple quick people I want to thank, some of which are not here today, that we would not be here if it was not for their efforts. First, I want to thank Bill Cole, Colin's predecessor at Baltimore Development Corporation. Without his efforts over the years, we would simply not be here. Paul Rupert is here, our new CEO of Baltimore Public Markets Corporation. His predecessor, who lives right in West Baltimore, Robert Thomas, labored over this project night and day for years to help us get here. And lastly, Colin's predecessor as chair of the Public Markets Corporation, Mr. Kirby Fowler, if you could raise your hand, former president of Downtown Partnership. And lastly, there's one person who I really want to thank from the bottom of my heart. And I would not have been involved in this project from the very beginning when I first got on the council in October 14 if it wasn't for her grace and kindness. Former Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake. Mayor Rawlings-Blake, this was her vision to transform these public markets and bring in private investment to make these markets be the most they can be. It should not be a surprise to anyone that we have representatives from University of Maryland Medical System here, University of Maryland, Baltimore. It was Mayor Rawlings-Blake's vision to help make a connection between the traditional central business district and everything that's going on the west side because of UMS and because of UMB's continued vibrant investment in our community. So Mayor Rawlings-Blake, thank you. I hope you're just as pleased as I am. And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce someone who is filling in for a dear friend and has been instrumental. I am not introducing her. I am not doing that. I'm turning it back over to Colin Tarbert. Thank you.
And I'm going to take the rap for that one. I neglected to introduce our esteemed council president, Nick Mosby, who has also joined us today. So I want to thank the council president for being here, and he's going to say a few words before we introduce our next speaker.
Just a few. What's up, Baltimore? Come on, we can do better than that. What's up, Baltimore? So today's an exciting day because we get to reflect on what these grounds really mean, not only to the city of Baltimore, but to our entire country. If these grounds could talk. When I think back, you have to think through history, and a lot of times when we talk about history, we like to only focus on the positive side of history, but these grounds also had a lot of negative to them. Amen? It was in these grounds that slaves were actually sold and bought. It was in these grounds that the folks of Baltimore survived the Great Depression. It was at these grounds where Baltimoreans ensured that this institution didn't fall from the Great Fire of 1949. And because each and every one of you are standing here today, it is in these grounds that Lexington Market, the institution, can last for 240 more odd so years coming out of a great pandemic. That's what this day means to us. As each and every time turned through history, there was individuals who came together to ensure that this institution was here. An institution that stands today that is as culturally diverse as it's been ever. Like the governor said, like the mayor said, like Councilman Costello said, an opportunity for small businesses, local businesses, minority businesses, women-owned businesses to ensure that they're utilizing their services and their crafts to benefit the city of Baltimore. Lexington Market is the charm of Charm City. Let this not just be one stone that's thrown, but let this development be a ripple throughout all of west side of downtown, because that's exactly what this is meant to be. We can continue to talk about all the policy that we want to, but the idea about really changing and realizing the communities that we deserve and the city that we know Baltimore is to become is through economic development opportunities just like this. Individually, we can do great things, but collectively, from our federal partners to our state partners to our local partners to our business community and our community and residents alone, we can forever change the trajectory of the city of Baltimore. Thank you for each and every one of you for coming today and witnessing this very historic occasion. And with that, I will turn it back over to Colin.
Thank you, President Mosby. So our next speaker, we've heard a lot about partnerships, and we've heard from our elected officials today, but the partnership piece is so important, and it's in the name. So I want to introduce Lauren Hamilton, who is standing in on behalf of Shalonda Stokes of the Downtown Partnership. The Downtown Partnership is instrumental in providing the services and the benefits around this district. They've been a champion of this project since Kirby Fowler and Shalonda and with Lauren. So it's without further ado that I introduce Lauren Hamilton. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm incredibly nervous because I don't know how anybody follows this incredible group of leaders and says anything more profound or thoughtful or meaningful than what they've already said today. So I'm going to go off script. I'm going to pull a Shalonda, so just pretend. Shalonda would want me to tell you all that she is incredibly grateful to see all of your beautiful faces in downtown Baltimore today, and that we expect to see you back tomorrow and the day after and the weekend after and the month after and again and again and again. This couldn't be done without partnership. It is in our name. I'm not going to repeat all the names, but our heart and our soul goes out to everybody who collectively made this moment happen. Lexington Market serves as a community hub in the center of downtown Baltimore, and without partnership, it will not be successful. And so you are a partner, and you will come back, and we are a partner. And the team that is all throughout the building today in our logo will continue to spend their mornings, nights, and evenings and weekends cleaning the area around downtown and helping to stabilize the small businesses and to market the heck out of every good thing that happens in this neighborhood so that we can be the best partner we can be to ensure long-term success. As City Council President Mosby pointed out, it's 245 years. That's a heck of a long time. And we want to preserve the culture and the thoughts and the memories for another 245 years. Shalonda says a lot that shift happens. We've heard that. And every other day I get a call from a different member of the media that says, well, aren't you worried about downtown Baltimore post-pandemic? And if it is not true today, it will never be. I am not worried about downtown Baltimore because we could not have better partners and more momentum than we do right now. So thank you, Governor Moore, Lieutenant Governor Miller. My God, I'm so excited to say your names. That is amazing. For all of your support and for your team's wraparound support for downtown Baltimore. There is nearly $5 billion worth of development happening in downtown Baltimore right now. It's a quiet story that we don't want to be quiet anymore. We have an incredible amount of things to be excited about, from residential growth to the strong creative assets that are the Hippodrome and the National Aquarium. We have so much to shout from the rooftops. So I ask you all, I implore you all to join us in that advocacy and leave here today and go tell somebody how amazing downtown Baltimore is and invite them back to have lunch with you. We want downtown neighborhoods to be just as strong as those core memories that we have of growing up and being in Lexington Market for generations to come, and that's going to take all of us. You're in the fastest growing residential neighborhood in Baltimore City. You may not see them, but there are as many people and as many puppies in these high-rises nearby as in any other residential neighborhood in the city. And we have to connect our assets, and we have to make the people who are living here temporarily because of our incredible education institutions and medical institutions and jobs, let's convert them to forever Baltimoreans. So thank you, Lexington Market, for helping to sort of reinvigorate the core of downtown, but reinvigorate what makes us feel so special when we're here. Thank you for having us, and we look forward to partnering with you all soon.
Thank you so much, Lauren. So our next speaker is really the key on the ground here. Myself and Kirby and others were involved when we were trying to figure out how are we going to put this project together. We knew we didn't have the skill set, and so we did a request for proposal. We went through a process, and we were very, very lucky, not just to find a developer, but to find a partner. And you heard a little bit about Tebow today, but behind Tebow is a great, great team. And I think for, I don't know how many years, it feels like a while, but for the last couple of years, John has had me on speed dial. He called me last week, in fact. He calls me, he's a construction guy, so he calls early. I'm not a construction guy, but I try to pick up the phone. And this is an amazing project, not just from a construction standpoint. It's a big building, it's a complicated project. Moving the vendors in is a project in and of themselves, but this is a landmark. This is the center of Baltimore. This is a whole community process in terms of bringing out the best of Baltimore. And the Seawall team delivered, I think, 110%. And so it's my pleasure to bring up the representative of Seawall today and the guy who got this thing built, John Constable.
Hey, good morning, and it's so amazing to see this building full of incredible people. That was always the goal. And Colin, thank you, and thanks to the entire board for believing in us. I'm actually a little nervous to go after Lauren, so good job. Our mission at Seawall has always, since the beginning, been to bring people and communities together through the built environment. This was the perfect opportunity to do that on a supersized scale. In order to do that, you need absolute inclusion, to include everybody you can. So we thought to ourselves, what does that mean for Lexington? And what it meant was we had to include the entire city of Baltimore. It was a big and beautiful task. We had the honor of listening to literally thousands of people tell their story and what Lexington Market meant to them. Everybody has a story. Grandparents have stories about bringing their grandkids. Grandkids have stories about their grandparents bringing them. 9 generations. And so being part of that process, it was amazing to see Baltimore City really coalesce and come together around a single place and to be so excited and have so much pride in its future. I hope everybody in this room feels that collective sense of ownership, because you all should. I think I'm like the first private entity to be up here, and it's really amazing, these public-private partnerships. And so the team we managed was so important. It was the ground troops, if you will, of this entire project, grinding through the doldrums of COVID, et cetera. So I do want to give a special thanks to a number of groups real quick. And I also want to point out that early on in this project, we all realized that this was not our project. As talented as the groups, the companies, the individuals were, we were simply stewards of something that's been here way longer than we have and will hopefully be here way longer than we will. So in no particular order, first I want to thank my entire Seawall team. You know, Peter, Katie, Fran, Ben, Pickett, wherever you are, and Tebow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everything takes money. Our financing partners, which really, really believed in the mission of this from the beginning. You know, Fulton Bank as the project senior lender, thank you. U.S. Bank, Sinair, Enterprise, Joe Haskins and the team from Harbor Bank for their commitment of over $30 million in new market tax credits. That's federal money coming into Baltimore City. DHCD and the state of Maryland for really planting the seed of the funds. We started out of the gate with close to $17 million. We never would have done it without that money, so thank you all for your vision on that. The T. Rowe Price Foundation, the Gold Sector Foundation, and the University of Maryland in Baltimore, we created a fund thanks to those folks to help these merchants see their dreams come true. Southway Builders and all their subcontractors, thank you. These folks were working in the middle of COVID, didn't miss a day. Thanks. Brown Craig Turner, I see some of the team scattered, the architects and the vision behind this, you know, just listening and taking all that information we gathered from the community and translating it into a beautiful space to gather. Amazing job. Flora Teeter Landscape Design, same. This beautiful plaza, which hopefully we'll all be out in soon. What an incredible gathering spot when the weather gets better. I can't wait to see what happens there. Ashton Design, all the signage you see, Ashton, the branding, the vision, unbelievably talented. And then recruiting and managing all these merchants. The Baltimore Core, Innovation Works, and the Baltimore Community Lending helped to recruit and support all these incredible merchants that now get to call this market home. They were indispensable in this entire process. Last but not least, our Transform Lexington Advisory Board that we put together at Seawall, and everybody who served on the vendor selection committee. And certainly the Baltimore City Public Markets and the Lexington Market team. There's a small army of people that are here grinding day in and day out that were doing it before this new project and will continue to do it, and we're all here because of that group. Thank you, everybody. If everybody that was in one of those groups, please just raise your hand, and please give all these people a round of applause. We are really, really proud of how diverse this mix of merchants is in this market. It reflects the population of Baltimore City, and it just feels incredible to walk in and see these faces. And it was an honor to have worked with these merchants over the years. So today we're going to hear from a handful of these merchants, and we're going to start with Robin Holmes of Deedle's Donuts. Robin deals in the currency of fun and love, also known as warm, delicious donuts. And Robin, where is Robin? Hey, we are so proud of you, Robin. So thank you all.
Thank you, John. He got that incredible machine inside of here. That was about what we did. Good morning, everyone. I am Robin Holmes, the owner and first lady donut maker at Deedle's Donuts in Lexington Market. We are here. We have arrived. Woo! We are so proud to have opened our first brick and mortar in the new market after 5 years of running around the DMV with that pink, cute little truck that some people didn't know. At first, a 1985 camper that I had to hot shot to and from each event, but we did it until I got my new truck. I'm born and raised, thank you. I'm born and raised in Baltimore, and my fondest memory of Lexington Market is when I attended Mervo. Me and my high school best friend, Ladora Kent, we would catch the bus down, we would run over to the market, grab either a slice of strawberry shortcake, a hot dog from Pollock Johnny with the works, a cold cut with everything, of course, or a small pan of chitlins with hot sauce and vinegar from Angie's, whatever our budget could afford for that day, before connecting on the subway to get back and head west. And I just wanted to be a part of all of the hustle and bustle that surrounded so much delicious food in Lexington Market. Everyone seemed so excited, yelling their orders across the counter, and I was like, this is just awesomeness. So it seemed like Lexington Market, in a sense, was a meeting place and a gathering place for family and friends, and guess what, y'all? Now it had come full circle. We are here. Thank you. Deedle's Donuts is a dream come true for me and my family that represents the hard work ethic and the love of feeding family and friends that was instilled in me from my mom, Deedle. A lot of people ask, where did the name come from? That was her nickname. So I started it in honor of her, and we hope to be your sweet treat that will be here for a long time, that your family and you can't leave the market without it. And thank you so much for being here today and supporting the market. Thank you.
Morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so I'm Sean Parker, co-owner of Connie's Chicken and Waffles. Thank you. A business started back in 2016 right here at Lexington Market, on less than 500 feet away. I started the business alongside with my brother and business partner, Kari, using the hard work and the lessons that we gained from our mom, Miss Connie. as well as the entrepreneurial acumen and confidence that we gained from our father, John. Again, we started right here at Lexington Market. We're Baltimore natives coming to Lexington Market oftentimes after school or after different activities throughout the city that we participated in. Lexington Market, as everyone mentioned, is a crossroads for Baltimore. Oftentimes, folks ask me, our team members ask me, what's the best location to work at? If they can't get anywhere else, everyone can get to Lexington Market. As we all mentioned, it's truly a hub in Baltimore City. For us, Lexington Market was the natural launch pad for our business. We use customer feedback and recommendations to grow our menu. As the mayor mentioned, we do now have pescatarian options in addition to a variety of waffles as well as fried chicken. But Lexington Market will always be our home base. We've grown to other locations. We have locations right down the street inside of Charles Plaza. We have locations at other Baltimore public market entities such as Broadway Market over in Fells Point and Wilmington, Delaware as well. The new Lexington Market for us is a culmination of many, many, many years of hard work. We anticipate to be at Lexington Market for decades to come. This is just the start of many, many, many places. The new Lexington Market represents our next chapter of hard work. But one thing I want to acknowledge before I go is our team members. So everyone, and especially in this current workforce, there's no doubt that our team members are truly the backbone of our business. So all of our team members, both past and present, I want to thank you. Thank you for your hard work and your dedication. Thank you for coming here tirelessly, day in and day out, to truly make our business great. And in closing, I just want to thank all of our supporters, everyone that assisted us along this journey thus far, and we welcome you to the new Lexington Market. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to all of our merchants in the market. We would not have a market without the merchants, so they are key. And the last piece of Lexington Market, you heard a lot about it today, but is the history. The history of this place is just amazing. We may have changed buildings over time, we may have a new building, but we certainly have a legacy here. And so to close us out, some of you probably can't see up here, but there's a picture. And hopefully we're going to exit out to the plaza and take a look at the picture. The picture is of James B. Carpenter, who from 1963 to 1971 was a market fixture in ringing the bell each morning at 8 a.m. to signal the opening start of the day. And today we are honored to have the family of Mr. Carpenter, Vernita Humphreys, and my good friend, Jason Williams, here to honor his legacy and to also help us ring in the new market. So what we're gonna do is, there's a door just over here to my right, I guess to your left. We're gonna walk out the door. On your way, you can pick up a commemorative bell, and then Jason and Vernita are gonna ring the bell. At least I know Jason is. He was gonna dress up in tails too, and Vernita are gonna ring the bell for us. So this concludes the program. Please join us on the plaza. Thank you all for coming.